Hello, everyone. Hello, Quinn. Thank you for the gift. The topic today is going to be, once again, I'm going to teach about vocabulary words by teaching the history of the words. Oh, look at that. Wow. Something. All right. But right now, we're just waiting for people to show up because I just started a few minutes ago, 2 minutes ago, 3 minutes ago. So we'll wait for a few minutes before I start teaching. So right now, you can ask me a few questions if you have a few questions, or if you just want to, if you want to ask me something, you can. We have a few moments before I start teaching today. Hello, Gaia. And Boda and Michael, hello. You struggle with phrasal verbs. Do I have any tips for that? Yeah, phrasal verbs are difficult because phrasal verbs, there is no pattern to learn them. They are improvised language. So there is no way to really learn a pattern that will help you. But there is a system that you can kind of do. Start by learning all the phrasal verbs that use one verb, right? Like get, right? Get in, get on, get over, get through, get with, get into, okay? Figure out what do all those mean. And then when you look at those, consider which ones you think are most useful for your life. Which ones will you say? Which ones will you use? Learn those. Okay, so start by learning them in groups. Choose a verb like get or do or whatever, run. Then choose, learn all the phrasal verbs or as many as you want to that are using that verb, that use that verb. Then consider which ones are most useful in your life and focus on those. Okay, those are the tips that I usually tell people. Is it better to keep a word or a sentence? What do you mean, Boda? I don't know what you mean by that. And hello, Asif and Nadia. Hello, Brahim. Boda, do you have another way that you can ask me that question? What do you mean by keep a word or sentence? We're going to get started in just a couple minutes, everybody. Memorizing sentences or memorizing words, Boda, I don't memorize anything because memorizing doesn't work well. Okay, so I'm going to teach you vocabulary today, but I'm not going to use memorizing to do it. There are better ways to learn vocabulary instead of memorizing. And I definitely don't memorize sentences unless it's like a common sentence like, how are you? Nice to meet you. Those are good to memorize, right? But you shouldn't memorize every sentence. You should memorize useful sentences that are very common, okay? Is there a difference between post, text, comment, and message? Anna, sometimes no and sometimes yes. A post could be words, or it could be a picture, or it could be a video. So a post is a general term for something that you put up, okay? That you put online, okay? But the word post is actually used in real life too. If maybe you lose your dog. You lost your dog. So now you want to put up a bunch of signs around the neighborhood. Lost dog, call this number, right? We will say, I'm going to post these pictures up. And that's why we call them posters. Do you know the word poster? A poster is something that you posted on the wall. Okay? So, text is anything that's written, usually in print form, like a book, right? So, what does the text of the book say is one meaning. Or, I'm going to text you means I'm going to write you, right? I'm going to use text to write you. Comment is usually what we say when we see a post. If you see a post and you want to write something about it, like you see a picture of a pretty flower and you say, wow, that's so beautiful. That's your comment about the picture. To comment means to tell somebody what you think about something. Okay? Now, commenting can be online or it can be in real life. You know, comments are just, what did you think of this? Okay? And then message. Message is usually the word we use now when we're talking about something that we sent to somebody with text. Did you read my message? Did you get my message? But we might also say, did you get my text? Okay? All right. You're playing basketball today. What are my hobbies besides drums? Well, drums is not really my hobby anymore, but it's a job, but I love to go fishing, Michael. I love to go hiking. I like gardening. I love cooking. Okay. You need advice how to start to practice or learn writing. It's the first time I'm starting to practice writing. So when you say that, you just wrote that. Did you use translation for that, Aya, or did you write that? Because you can write. Or do you mean with your hand? You've never written with your hand? You mean essays. Okay, that's better. See, when you said, I want to learn how to write, that means A, B, C, D, E, F, G. That starts at the beginning. But writing an essay, that's not the beginning. This is another good possible exercise that you can do with ChatGPT. You can say, please give me some essay assignments, right? Some simple essay assignments to write. Then you write them. Then you can ask it, please grade my assignment. Please review my assignment. Please tell me what I did wrong with the grammar or with my my argument or my position or my facts. What did I do wrong, right? So that would be one, Aya, but there are some websites I have too. Let me give you a couple of them. Let me find them for you. Hold on. Okay, now, Aya, this first one that I'm going to give you is a little bit difficult, but this is the one that every American student uses in college, or most of them use. Purdue University has a page that's free, and it shows you, let me show you this. This is the Purdue University writing page, writing guide, okay? Here it says right here, here's the APA guide and the MLA guide. These are formats for essays. So when you write an essay in school, they will tell you you should use MLA format or you should use APA format. That means a very specific thing. So you need to go click on APA. What does that mean? Start here. Here's the general format. This is what here's the basics, right? Here's everything about it. The basic rules for APA writing. Okay, authors. Everything you need is right here. This is what college students in America use when they need to write a paper. Okay? So that would be one resource that you can check. But there are others. Wait a moment. Here is another page that's good for English writing tips. EnglishClub.com. And there's also this one. Writeandimprove.com. Now, it's free, but you have to sign up for it. is my understanding. I've never used it, but I've heard about this one. It's called Write and Improve. It's a website for improving your writing. It's supposed to be free for students, so just fill out a form, and then you can start using it. All right? All right. So we're going to get started with my topic here in just a couple of minutes. I'll answer a couple of more questions, and then I want to start teaching again about vocabulary. Okay, I'm sorry. Wait a minute. Postscript. That's why you're curious about them. Yeah, PS. PS, postscript. Post means after, script means write. So PS is something that we use at the end of a letter. If you wrote an entire letter to somebody, but at the end you want to say one more funny thing or an important thing, you'll say, P.S. I'll be coming to visit you in March. Or P.S. I hope we can meet when I visit next year. Whatever. Something, but it's just postscript means something you write at the end to extra. Hello, Alexander. I'm fine. Wa alaikum assalam, Ilyospek. Hello, Mung. Thank you. Fred has lots of grammar mistakes when he writes. Well, it takes practice. It takes practice. Is computer or handwriting, which is better? They're both good. Most studies show that if you really want to remember something, then writing is always better than typing. Okay, so if you're trying to remember what you're doing, maybe write it down. But typing is more convenient, and it gives you access to a lot of different applications and websites all at once. So typing allows you to have a lot of tools for convenience that can really benefit you. But writing is a very basic and organic way to learn that your brain connects with better. Okay? Hello, Carolina. Is it Jira in the Philippines? Well, today that's what I'm going to be teaching about is vocabulary. But I'm going to teach a very strange way to learn vocabulary. In a few minutes here, I'm going to get started in just a minute. And then how to think in English, I will give you the article that you can read from my blog about how to think in English. You can read that. Go to this website, this blog, that's my blog. It's free. Sign up and you can read that article about how to think in English. Okay? Next question. Okay, so I think I'm ready to start teaching now. Yeah. So yesterday we started teaching about etymology. And etymology means the history of words and where do they come from and what did they used to mean, how did they change over time. And learning this can be a very useful way to learn vocabulary because sometimes the stories about the words are very interesting. And if it's interesting, it's easy to remember. Okay? And there is another trick with etymology. Many, many English words come from the same root word. So if you learn one root word, it might be found in 300 other words. So by learning one root word, you can efficiently learn vocabulary. It helps you learn the root, which then helps you learn hundreds of other words. Okay? So that's what we're going to do today. Now, all right, I'm going to show you a website I use for that. This is the website I'm using today. Etymology. It's this. This website is called etymonline.com, and it is an online etymology dictionary. There's the spelling right there. Okay? ETYMOLOGY. Etymology. Okay? So, yesterday we started talking about the DIS words. There are over 300 words in English that have the letters DIS. Now, many of them are not common, but many of them are very common. Okay, so we're going to look at more of these DIS words. Let me just get my notes. Why is this not working? Is my battery dead? Ah, there we go. Okay. So DIS. We're looking at DIS first. Okay. All right. So let's see here. There it is. And then I want to scroll down here to where it says, where is it? I'm looking for the connecting words, and I can't find it. Entries, discard. Okay, we'll start here. There we go. There it is. See all related words right here. 303. Okay, 303 different words that have dis in them. All right. So we already started some of these yesterday, so I'm going to start down where we left off last. And that was around here. Yep, I think it's the next page. Debacle, we did debacle. Debar, debark. We'll skip that one. Well, look, let's start with this one. What do you think this word means? Decamp. To decamp. What does decamp mean? Hello? Anyone? It's not that hard. I think you can know this one. Well, what does camp mean? If I say we're going to camp here. To set up tents, to stay. That's to camp, is to put up the tent. That's right. So to decamp means to take down the camp. Right? So when you come there, you set up the camp. But when you leave, you need to decamp. Okay, so you camp and decamp. That was easy, right? Now you learned a new word. Camp and decamp. All right? How about this one? Decry. To decry something. What does that mean, to decry? Decry means to say, I think that's wrong. Okay, I think that's wrong. I think he's wrong. I think it's bad. To say something is bad is to decry. But yes, it does have the word cry in there, right? But what does cry mean? What does cry really mean? Do we know? When you think of cry, you think of being sad, right? But let's look at the word cry. To cry, what does cry mean? Cry doesn't mean to cry, to be sad. It doesn't mean to be sad. It means to yell something. To yell something. So when you say, "Oh no," that's crying. You're crying out. Okay? When you say, "Oh, it's so terrible," that's to cry. When you say, "Oh, this is so bad," or "Please, please, I'm crying for help." Okay? "Please help me, please help me." That's crying for help. Okay? So the original meaning of cry is not to be sad. Okay? It was more like, I need help. But many times when you need help, it's bad. So when you need help, many times people will tear and cry. So the two words became the same meaning. Okay? It became the same meaning over time because in the beginning, the word cry just meant to yell for help. But when you need help, many times it's scary or bad, and so you are crying. Okay? So now, if the word cry does not mean to tear originally, it means to yell. So now, let's go back and look at the word decry. To decry means to cry down something, to speak disparagingly of. Disparagingly means badly. Like, I don't like it. I'm going to talk badly about it because I don't like it. That's disparaging. Okay? So, if I say, this thing is really bad, I think it's very terrible, I am decrying it. I'm yelling about how bad it is. That's to decry. All right? All right, let's go about, how about this one? Deface. What does deface mean? Defacier. To deface something. And by the way, please tell me if my screen is frozen, because yesterday we had a big problem with the screen being frozen often, and I don't know if it's frozen. So, can you see deface now? It shows cry. Ah, see? So I have to stop sharing and start sharing again. I don't know why it's doing that. I'll have to tell them. Okay, so here's deface. All right? And before we just looked at decry. Okay? So now we're looking at deface. Now you can see it, right? Okay? Yeah? Are we good? Do I use the word decry on a regular basis? No, not on the regular basis. No, definitely not on a regular basis. But you might see it in a book or a novel or a story. You might see it. Okay? Decry means to yell about how bad something is. If you say, "This thing is really terrible, and I'm going to tell you how bad this is. I think that blah, 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 blah. It's all bad." I'm yelling about how bad something is. That is decrying. It's like complaining, but it's yelling. It's stronger than complaining. Okay? Complaining is just down here. Decrying is way up here. Okay? Now we have deface. To deface something. What does deface mean? What do you think it means? Deface means to open the truth. No, not in English. In English, deface means the DE means away from. Away from. And face comes from the Latin word fascia, which means, your face. So in this case, it means to make ugly. To make ugly. To deface is to make something ugly. So if you deface a book, maybe you're writing in the book, you're defacing the book. If you spray words on a building, you are defacing the building. That's graffiti. It's called, they're defacing it. Okay, so to deface something means to make it ugly somehow. It could be many different ways, right? It says here, to mar the face or surface of something. So it's not to deform it, because that might be too much. It's just the face. They mess up the face of it. So if it's the building, they don't destroy the building, but they spray words on the building. That's defacing the building. If it's a book, you don't destroy the book, but if you write a bunch of things in the book, you're defacing it. Okay? You're making the face ugly. Okay? The face is the front. Okay? So you're making the face ugly. That's all it means, to deface. All right? And again, that's not an uncommon word. You might see it if you're talking about that. Like, oh no, someone defaced the building. Okay? To deface your reputation. We won't use that word for that. There are a bunch of other words that you might use, but deface, you could use it, but it wouldn't be very common, and it wouldn't be the most obvious choice. But I know what you're trying to say. Okay? Okay, let's move on. So this one, defeasance. This one is very rare, so I'm going to skip it. There is another word in English that's not very rare, malfeasance, but defeasance is not common at all. So we'll skip that one, okay? But this word is very common, to defeat. Defeat someone. To defeat someone. What does defeat mean? To defeat means to beat someone. You won. You defeated them. You are the winner. They are the loser. They have been defeated. Okay? They have been defeated. Yeah, defend and defeat look similar, but they're not quite the same. Maybe we'll look at defend too. All right? So defeat, it says here, the original meaning in the 14th century, the meaning was that I was overcome. I'm overcome with sorrow or anger. Okay? So it's kind of funny. The original meaning just means that you feel really bad. So if someone feels really bad and they look like this, they look like they lost, right? They're the loser. They look like they have been defeated. So, to defeat means to beat someone, but you can use the word as an adjective. He looks defeated. He looks defeated. Okay? And defeated would be like you look like you lost. You look like you were beaten. Okay? So defeat means to win, to beat someone, right? It's not the opposite of defend. No, the opposite of defend is attack. To attack someone is to hit them, right? So a long time ago, you had a sword in one hand and a shield in the other one. The sword was to attack and the shield was to defend. Attack, defend. Attack, defend. Okay? So defeated means that you lost, but it can mean you look like you lost. He looks defeated. Okay? All right. Let's move on. How about this one? Can you see this word? Defer? Can you see this word? Do I need to no? Okay, let me I don't know why the screen will not, it keeps freezing every time I do it. Okay, try this. How about now? Can you see it now? Okay, good. Defer. Now, this is a good word. Defer is a good word to learn. To defer means to delay, to put it off until later, to postpone until later. Okay? So, let's see. What does it mean? Dis, the DE comes from dis, and it means away, away from. And then the FER comes from this word fere, meaning to bear or carry. So, the meaning of defer means to carry it away to a later time. I'm going to do it later. Okay? So, for example, one moment. So maybe you need to pay your rent, but because of COVID, when COVID happened, many people had trouble paying their rent. So the landlord would say, you can defer until next month. That means pay me next month. You can't pay me this month. Okay, then pay me next month. Okay? Or you can defer taxes. Taxes are something that sometimes we put taxes off until later. That's deferred taxes. Okay? So to defer means to put it off until later. Okay? It's usually a word we use for official things. Official things. Not for casual things. Right? So if I want to go outside and play, but I don't, I'm not going to say, well, I decided to defer playing outside until later. No, we don't talk about playing outside with the word defer. All right? Defer is for official things. Okay? How can we know if defer is commonly used in conversation? Well, you can't, but I just told you that it is in business. It's common, the word defer. It's common in taxes. It's common in insurance. It's common in rent. It's common in things that you have to pay, bills. Okay? And it's not giving it a chance. To defer means to wait until later. To do something later. You can't do it now, so you're going to defer it till later. It's like postpone. Postpone and defer are about the same meaning. Okay? All right, let's keep going. How about this word? Defiance. To defy. What does that mean? I'm going to defy you. Anyone? To defy. Not to get the best of you. Not quite, Samira. To defy you. If I say, if your father tells you, don't go out tonight after 10 o'clock, but you go out at 11 o'clock, then you defied him. It's like disobeying. Okay? It's like disobeying, to defy. But the original meaning is funny. The original meaning is challenge. The original meaning of defy comes from the French word défiance, which in this case, it means to challenge somebody to a fight or war or combat, right? So when it says here, dis means away, and then fidus. Fidus means faithful. faithful. So it means I'm not faithful to you anymore. I will defy you. So you said I should not go out, but I'm not going to listen to you. I'm going to defy you. Okay? So it means it means that you're going to disobey, not listen to somebody telling you to do something. But defiance before was a challenge. I want to fight you. Okay? Okay, let's keep going. I know I must be boring everybody, but there's the word defy, right? To defy. Again, it means to say, I'm not your friend anymore. I'm your enemy now. I'm defying you. I don't want to do what you say anymore. I was with you, but now I'm not with you anymore. I'm defying you. Okay? Do you guys know any other words in English that start with the letters F-I-D? F-I-D. Do you know any other words that start with F-I-D? Anybody? Fidelity. That's right, Boda. Fidelity. And what does fidelity mean? Does anybody know the word fidelity? To be loyal. That's right. So this word, defy comes from the word meaning away, faithful. Fides meaning faithful. Loyal. So you're not loyal anymore. You're not faithful anymore. Fides, fidelity. You don't have fidelity for them anymore. Okay? So there's the word fides. That's where we get fidelity. Okay? F-I-D, fidelity, fides. Okay, let's keep going. Next word, degrade. What does degrade mean? To degrade something. Hold on, I think you can't see it. Let me share again. There it is. Degrade. What does degrade mean? To level up. No, it means the opposite of level up. It means level down. It means to go down in rank. That's right. To degrade. So the word degrade, originally here, it means to deprive of office, dignity, or honors, to reduce rank. So you were a captain, but now you were bad, so now you're not a captain. Now they made you a lieutenant or a sergeant or something. They made you a lower rank. Degrade, to go down in grade. Okay, so in school, sometimes we say grades, like A, B, C, D. Those are grades. What grade did you get on your test? Okay, so a grade is a rank. So to degrade means to go down in rank. Okay, or in this case, degrade means to make something worse somehow. So for example, if you don't use English for a long time, what happens? If you don't use English, what will happen to your English? It will degrade. When you don't use your language, it will degrade. It means it goes down in rank. It's not as good. Okay, so degrade means anything that became worse over time. It's degrading. Okay? There are many different meanings of the word degrade. One is to lower in office. Or I could say, this is very degrading. I don't want to do this. It's degrading. That means I think that the thing that you want me to do is below me. I can't do that. It's not good. I'm up here. I don't do bad things. That's a bad thing. It's degrading. I won't do it. Okay? Yes, your level can degrade. That's right. Okay? So degrade means to go down in ability, to go down in rank somehow. Okay? Yeah. All right, good. Let's move on. What about this word? Hold on, let me show you again. Deluge. It's not a common word, but it's a good word. You can learn it. It's easy. One moment. Let's see. The opposite of degrade would be upgrade, or you could just say to help someone, or to what's the word I'm thinking of? Promote. Promote. Could be. If you're talking about rank, then you can say he wasn't degraded, he was promoted. He was upgraded. Okay? All right. Now we have the word deluge. A deluge. Okay? And where does this word come from? It's from the Bible. It's from the Bible. Okay? They're talking about the big flood. The big flood in the Bible with all the water and all the animals on the boat and all that, right? Okay? So this word, deluge, is from French. But before it was French, it was Latin. And the Latin word is diluvium. And what does diluvium mean? Right there. Flood. It means flood. So a deluge is a flood. Now, the word deluge can be real, like a river. Okay? Like a river that floods, that's a deluge. But it also can be figurative, not real, like you're talking about anything that's overflowing. A deluge of happiness, a deluge of sadness. It means anything that's overflowing or flooding, okay? It's a deluge. All right? And it comes from the Latin word diluvium. Sometimes there's a term in history. When we talk about history, sometimes people will talk about antediluvian, which means before the flood. Before the flood, antediluvian. So if you're talking to a historian, a history guy, he might say, oh, well, this was antediluvian. That means it happened before this big flood, in history. Okay? Okay, let's go on. Here's a good one. Demerit. Demerit. What is a demerit? Demerit. What does the word merit mean? What does merit mean? Honor, goodness? Yeah, kind of. Yeah. It means something that you earned, something that you got because you earned it. You had merit. You did it with merit. It was something you earned with your abilities. Okay? That's to do something with merit. You deserve it. But the word merit also can mean fault. It can mean who's at fault. Like it's your fault. Okay? But the original meaning, demerit, it means something that is wrong, an offense, a crime. So guess what? In some schools, if you're a bad student, they might give you a demerit. They might give you a demerit. They say, oh no, you didn't finish your homework. We're going to give you a demerit. It means like, we're going to tell you, oh no, you did something wrong. This is an official paper saying you did something wrong. That's a demerit. Okay, it's like a little punishment. Yeah, okay, it's a small punishment. All right, but it's kind of funny. The original meaning was something you deserve, good or bad. Merit could be good or bad. Maybe something bad happened to you, but it was merited. That means you deserved it. Okay? Maybe something good happened to you, but it was merited. That means you deserved it. You did something good, so you deserved something good. It was merited. All right? So to be merited means you deserve whatever you got. Okay? All right, this word is definitely not common. Let's move on. How about this word, deploy? That's a good one. Deploy. What does deploy mean? Deploy. Too many demerits can lead to a detention. That's right, Samuel. Very good. That's right. Okay, what about deploy? Deploy means to send. That's right. Yeah, and it's usually a military word. It's usually a word we use for army troops, for soldiers. Okay? So the troops were deployed. The military was deployed. The army was deployed. It means we sent them out. But what does it really mean? Let's see. It says dis means, let's see. Yeah, unfold. So the word deploy actually means to unfold. Why does it mean unfold? Because when you used troops, the troops were in rows and lines, right? So it's almost like a blanket that you unfold on the battlefield. So you deploy them. To unfold the soldiers on the battlefield is to deploy them. Okay? To put them there. To deploy. All right? Yeah, it makes sense. That's right. All right? Okay, let's keep going. This word is not good or not common. Deranged. This one's good. We can do this one. Deranged. Deranged. It means crazy. He's deranged. She's deranged. Okay? If I say somebody is deranged, that means they are crazy. Now, this is the verb to derange, which means to try to make someone confused. Right? You do crazy things to make them confused. You're deranging them. Okay? Now, the verb is not common, but the adjective is pretty common. The adjective is pretty common. A deranged man attacked someone yesterday. Okay? A deranged man attacked someone yesterday. The deranged old woman is lost in the woods. Okay? It means crazy. But what does it really mean? Let's see. So, D means do the opposite of. Okay, so in this case, the dis means do the opposite of. And then renier. Renier means to put in line, to make a line. So lines look good, right? Lines, that's order, right? Lines are ordered. They're arranged, right? But deranged. That's right. That's where we get the word arrange. Arrange has the same root. Renier. Okay, that's the French word, the old French word. It means to put in a line. So to arrange means to put in a line. To derange means to go crazy. Not in a line. Random. Okay? All right, let's keep going. Nope, not that one. How about... Oh, this one is a good one. This is a word everybody knows. Where does this word come from? What is dessert? Dessert, everybody. Dessert means sweets, right? Yeah. It's desserts. It's like cake. It's ice cream, right? Those are desserts, right? But what does it really mean? Dessert comes from French. And the French word is desservir. Desservir. And it means what? What does it say right here? Clear the table. Unserve. So the DE means undo. And servir means to serve. So dessert means unserve. Because why? When you eat your meal, you eat your food, maybe you're eating chicken or something, right? And you eat and then you finish that, and what do? Then they take your plates and they clear the table before they bring you dessert. They clear the table before they bring dessert. So the word dessert means clear the table. Okay? They finish the meal. So, dessert means desservir, means to remove things, to clear the table, unserve. Okay? Yeah, that's a good one, right? Let's see. How about this word? Detour. What is a detour? What is a detour? This is a common word. Detour. Anybody? And Ereke says English took many words from French. That's right. About 60% of words in English come from Latin or Greek, but about 30% at least come from French. Now, there are some people who will argue that many, many more words come from French, but that's only because those French words come from Latin. So I think it's better to say they come from Latin. Okay, so detour, to go another way. That's right. To detour is to go another way. So what does it really mean? Dis means aside, a different way, aside, right? The side of, not in front of, aside. Then the tour comes from this word tourner, meaning to turn. So the word detour means turn aside. Turn aside. That's what detour means. Don't go this way. Turn aside. Take the detour. Okay? That's what it means. Turn aside. To detour. Aside is... Well, what does the word side mean, Callie? Side. What is a side? This is my right side, and this is my left side. Do you want to sit beside me? Is it inside the box or outside the box? Okay, so aside means to the one side or the other side, but not this way. Aside means choose one side, a side, right or left. Okay? A side. That's what it means. All right? Usually there's a problem. That's right, Samuel. If you see a detour sign, maybe they're working on the road, or maybe there's an accident or something like that. But yeah, detour. Okay, next, develop. How about develop? What does develop mean? To develop. All of these are related. These words that we're talking about today, every word is related. To develop means to improve, to enhance. That's right. That's right. Yeah. So what does the original meaning? It says it's not. The original meaning is now obsolete. Obsolete means that's not what we believe it to be now. Okay, so it's different now. All right? But the original meaning of develop was unroll or unfold. Okay? It comes from, there was an earlier English word. The earlier English word wasn't develop, it was disvelop. Now, this word doesn't exist anymore. We don't have this word anymore. But we used to have a word, disvelop. Disvelop became develop. Okay? And the old French, développer and développeur, here, to unwrap, to unveil, meaning to explain, okay, to reveal, right? So when you develop something, if I say I'm developing a story, what does that mean? Evolve, that's right. That's the right word. To, in this case, develop means like evolve. Okay? It's unfolding as you go. You can see it unfolding more and more. It's unfolding. It's evolving. It is developing. Okay? So it says here, the modern use came in the 18th century. It says it means to unfold more fully, to bring out the potential of. Okay? So there you go. Develop. Develop. That's a good one. How about the next one? Devoid. Devoid. If I say he is devoid of good qualities. He is devoid of good qualities. What does that mean? He is devoid of good qualities. Anyone? That's right. He doesn't have any. He doesn't have any. To be devoid means to have none. Okay? So to not possess, lacking. Okay? So where does this word come from? Let's see. To empty out, to flush game. So this word comes from hunting. The word void. Void means empty. Yeah, that's right. Void means empty. Okay, it's a void, means it's empty. Okay, so in this case, the word devoid means it's empty. It has nothing there. It's empty of anything. It's empty of anything. Okay? And it's funny because it says here that the original meaning was when you went hunting, if you shoot your arrow to a place where there is nothing, then you missed. So the meaning of devoid means you shot your arrow and missed. You hit, it was empty. The place you hit was empty. You shot your arrow into emptiness. It's devoid. Okay? Now, somebody's asking, Nereo's asking about avoid. Let's look at avoid. Let's see. I think I can find it from here. There it is, void and avoid. So avoid now means to try to go around something or not, be affected by something, right? So the original meaning of avoid, let's see. The A actually comes from the letters EX, meaning out. And then the void comes from the old French word here, voudier, meaning to be empty. So to avoid something means to have nothing to do with it, to escape, right? To be away from the emptiness. Away from the emptiness is to avoid. All right? The emptiness was the void, right? The word void means emptiness. So to avoid means to be away from the emptiness. Okay? All right, let me go back and see. And again, look how many words. We have avoid, devoid, devastation, evacuate. All of these are related to that word void, to this root word. Okay? That's why I like doing this, because you can find so many words. Let's see. Do I have any other good ones today? Yeah, we have a few more good ones here. Here's the next one. Am I boring you yet? Differ. To differ. To differ means to be unlike, to be dissimilar, to be different, right? Differ is where we get the word different, right? So what does differ mean? It means away, to carry away from. To carry away from. It means if this is where one person thinks this, but you think something over here, your idea is away from their idea. You differ. Understand? Okay? So if one person has an idea over here, but your idea is over here, then your idea is apart and away from their idea. They differ. Okay, that's what differ means. They're apart and away from. They are different. Okay? Nereo says to be away from emptiness. It's a good way to remember new vocabulary. If you can imagine it, if it makes a picture in your head, then yes, that's why I do it. That's why I try to use words that make a picture in your head. That's how I do it. All right? Every word that I do, that I'm thinking of, all of these words, I'm trying to use my imagination to imagine how is this word used. I'm trying to create a picture, a scene, a situation, something that I can connect to this word and the meaning. If you do that, you will remember. Okay? Okay, so we said differ, then there's the word difference, then there's the word different, right? So differ, difference, different. Okay? What about this word? Difficulty. What is difficulty? Yeah, it's difficult. It's hard. Okay? And it says want of easiness. That means it's not easy. Okay? The quality that makes something laborious or perplexing. Laborious. Do you guys know what laborious means? Laborious. It's very laborious. This is very laborious work. Do you know the word labor? Labor. L-A-B-O-R. What is labor? Labor Day. There's a holiday called Labor Day. Labor means work. So laborious means a lot of work. This is a lot of work. It's laborious. It's a lot of labor. Okay? So things that are difficult are often laborious. They are a lot of labor, a lot of work. Okay? And then what's this word here? Do you guys know this word? Perplexing. Perplexing. What does perplexing mean? Perplexing means confusing. That's right, confusing. If it's perplexing, then you go, huh? What? Okay, I'm perplexed. Means I'm confused. Okay? All right, let's keep going. Diffidence is not too common, so we'll skip that one. Diffident also. Diffraction. It's a science word, but let's do it. Is anybody a scientist here? Do you guys like science? Do you guys know what diffraction means? Hero is a scientist. Is Hero here? So diffraction, everybody. Yeah, it's an effect of light. That's right. And the way that I learned about diffraction was when I was a boy. I remember that I would see fish in the water. I saw fish in the water, but if I tried to reach down to grab the fish, I always missed. Every time I reached into the water to grab the fish, I would miss. Why did I miss? Why did I not catch the fish? Anybody? Because the light, when it hits the water, it diffracts. And so it changes the angle of the light in a way that it looks like the fish is over here, but the fish is really over here. Okay? That's why it's called diffraction. Now, if you know about diffraction, then you can say, oh, well, I know the fish is not over here. It looks like he's over here, but I'm going to grab it over here. That's to adjust for diffraction. Okay? That's right. Rainbows are also created by diffraction. That's another kind of diffraction. Okay? It's the spreading of light or the deflection of rays. Okay? So, the D-I-F-F means apart, and the F-R-A-C-T-I-O-N means to break. So diffraction means to break apart. Okay? To break apart the light, to spread the light. Okay? That's right. It looks like the spoon bends. When you put the spoon in the water and it looks like it bent, that's diffraction. Right. That's exactly what diffraction is. Correct. Okay? Good. Then there's refraction as well. That's correct. Yeah, but see, this is why you want to learn this trick, because then you'll see all the words that are related. Diffraction, refraction, traction, all these different frac words and re-words and shun words. There's a lot of them that are related, okay? So we just did diffraction. Now we have diffusion. To diffuse. To diffuse something. What does diffuse mean? What does diffuse mean? It means to spread out. Okay? To spread out is to diffuse something. All right? And if you look at the original meaning, the DI means away or out, and then the F-U-S-E part means in every direction, right? So it means to pour it in every direction, right? You're spreading it out every way. All right? So that's what diffuse means. So diffuse can be a real word that we talk about real things like diffusing light, diffusing water or gas, right? But we also use the word diffuse when we talk about things like an argument. Maybe there are two people arguing, and you say, I'm going to go try to diffuse the situation. I'm going to try to diffuse the situation. In this case, it means to try to calm them down. You want to spread their anger out so it's not so intense. All right? Something like that. All right? Okay, let's see. And hello, Nora. And Hero, good to see you again, too. Okay, let's see. Oh, how about this word? What is that? What's this word? To digest. Digest. What does digest mean? It could mean to absorb. That's correct. Yeah, it can mean. But the original meaning, the first meaning, the most basic meaning is when you eat something. When you eat something, your body will digest it. All right? And what does digest mean? It says here, it means, dis means apart, and gerere means to carry. So when you eat something, your body will break it apart and carry it to the rest of your body, right? That's what happens when you eat food. It breaks it down and sends it to your body. It carries it apart, right? Okay? So that's what digest means. Now, we also talk about the word digest when we're talking about learning. Maybe you're trying to learn too many words. Too many. And you'll say, no, this is too many. I can't digest this many words. I can't digest it. It's too much. Just like you can't digest this much food. It's too much food to eat. Okay? So, to digest also can mean to understand deeply. That's right. Because you're eating that information and then you're letting it spread to your body. Okay? Yeah. Okay? Your brain is fried, Anna? I know I'm talking about a lot of words today. There's digestible, digestion, digestive. How about this one? Digress. Digress. That's a good word. If you want to sound smart, you can use this word. But I digress. Yes, it means to go off topic. That's right, Nereo. Means to go off topic. So you can say, I digress. That's when, if you stopped talking about one thing and you start talking about another thing, this is what you say. You say, but I digress. I'm talking about something else now. Okay? I was talking about sports. Now I'm talking about food. Oh, I digressed. Okay? So what does digress mean? The dis means apart. Again, apart, apart, apart. All these have the meaning of apart. And grady, to step. So it means to step aside. To step aside. So remember when we said detour? Detour means to go aside, right or left. Digress means that you were on this topic, but then you decided to go to the side. You digressed. Okay? You went to the side. That's what digress means. Okay? Digression. Let's see. Digressive. Dilapidate. This is a difficult word, but it's a good word. Dilapidate. Hold on. A dilapidated building. That's right. It means worn out, in bad condition. That's exactly right. Okay? So the DI means asunder. Asunder means, oh, that's a hard word. It means destroyed. Destroyed. Okay? It means destroyed. So, the first part means destroyed, and then lapidare means to throw stones at. To throw stones at it. So, let's see. So it's like a building that's so old, it looks like somebody's been throwing rocks at this building for 100 years. Okay? That's dilapidated. It's dilapidated. It's old. It's run down. It looks neglected. It looks like nobody has taken care of it. It looks bad. So it is a dilapidated house. A dilapidated house. Look at that dilapidated house. It's so dilapidated. Okay? It's like ugly and old and nobody has taken care of it. It's dilapidated. Okay? Abandoned, that's right. Yeah. My mom always said not to go swimming before letting the food digest. That's right. Yeah, that's right. That's what they usually say. Yeah. And if you guys are wondering about this page is called Etum Online. It's this. This is the website I'm using right now. It's called Etum Online. It's free. Okay, it's free. All right, guys. So I have been here for an hour and 23 minutes. Let me stop for just a moment. And hello, Lina. Look who's back. Wow. Of course I remember you. How are you, Lena? Nice to see you. Wow, long time no see. I hope you're still over there in my YouTube. I just noticed you over there. Yes, I am going to take a break, but we're going to take a break from the DIS words, right? We were doing all words that were related to DIS, meaning apart or away from something, right? All those words that we just did, every one of them is related to the DIS root word, okay? But I'm going to tell you about some other words too, some other fun words that are not related to DIS. Okay? Next time when you see an old house, you can say dilapidated. That's right. Yeah. What's the difference between self-assertiveness and assertive? Self-assertiveness is a way that you describe yourself. Are you self-assertive? Assertive, I can see why you're confused. It's really just, they mean the same thing, but you would never use them the same way. They're different forms of the same word. So, and self-assertive is a little bit redundant. That's true. So when I looked it up here, it says assertive is just confident. Okay, if you're assertive, you're confident. Self-assertive is usually a little, maybe too confident. Like you're bold or arrogant. Okay, that might be self-assertive. Okay? So self-assertive is a little more aggressive. Okay? All right. Can I use etymology to explain why bear as a verb can mean to go or turn in the direction? Yes, I can. Sure. One moment. I'm researching to give you a good answer. One moment. That's a hard one. I don't see a great explanation. So, the original meaning of the word bear actually means to give birth. Okay, so to bear a child is to give birth to a child. And when you bear a child, that is a very, it's a difficult thing, right? You have to force the child out of you, right? So giving birth is a difficult thing that you must endure. So the word bear, later, they started using the word bear to talk about anything that's a difficult thing, like giving birth is difficult. So to bear a burden, to bear sadness, that means like you're carrying a difficult thing. So then the word bear to the right, bear to the left, right, is, that comes from boats. Okay, a long time ago when you were, if you were the captain of a boat, is it always easy to steer the ship? On an old boat. On an old boat, if you need to steer the boat to the right, is that easy? Larry? Like, what if the water is really difficult water? Is it easy to turn? It's not easy. So that's why it's bear to the right or bear to the left. It comes from boats, because a long time ago, if you wanted to turn a boat, it was hard to turn the whole boat with just, you're turning it with the rudder, or you're turning it with the ship's wheel, right? But either way, it was hard to turn. So that's why, okay? That's right. Bear a burden. It means it has to do with childbirth. To bear a child means that's bearing a child is hard, right? So bearing a burden is hard. Yeah, bear has lots of meanings. That's correct. Yeah. Okay, can I give an example of self-assertive? Miriam, the truth is I've never seen the words self-assertive used before. I've never seen that used before. Usually, if somebody is too bold, I'll say they're arrogant. I'll say they're too bold. I'll say they're, too full of themselves. Cocky, something like that. So the word self-assertive, I don't think it gets used too often because there are so many other words that we use to describe somebody like that. Okay? Can we use dilapidated for humans? I don't think it's a good choice, no. it's usually for something that's a building or a thing that's been there for a long time, an object, something immovable. Okay, usually. All right? I'm not saying you can't use it, but I'm saying it's not a great choice. All right? And hello, MJ and Jana. Okay, let me find another good word. If you guys have some words you want me to look up and tell you what the meaning, like what's the original meaning of this word, give me a word and I'll look it up and I'll tell you what it originally meant. Sometimes there are some fun ones. So, like for example... Rhinoceros. Rhinoceros. What is a rhinoceros? Anybody? It's an animal, right. It's the animal that has the big horn. Right? The big one horn. Big, huge, fat, powerful animal. Right? The word rhinoceros, the original meaning of rhinos means nose. Rhinos means nose. The word rhinos, the first part, means nose. Okay? And then the second part, Cirrus, the ocerus part, that comes from a word that means, let's see. Horn. Horn. Yeah. Nose and horn. Rhino is nose and cirrus is horn. So nose horn is what rhinoceros means. But the word horn comes from the word keras. 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 And this is my fingertip. These are my fingernails. What are fingernails made from? Do you know what fingernails are made from? Keratin. That's right. Seeker has the right word. Keratin. Keratin. Keratin comes from the word keras, which means horn. Why? Because the rhino's horn is made of the same thing that your fingernails are made from. Keratin. Rhino horn and fingernail, same thing. Keratin. It comes from the word keras, meaning horn. Okay, that's a fun one, rhinoceros. And if you want to get a nose doctor, a nose surgery, if you don't like your nose, you think you have an ugly nose, so you want a new nose. So what kind of doctor do you go to? What kind of surgery do you need? What kind of surgery do you need? You need plastic surgery, but there's one kind of doctor. Rhinoplasty. That's right, Victoria. If you go to a nose doctor, that's a rhinoplast. They are a nose doctor. So rhino and rhinoplasty, nose surgery. Those are related. Okay? Yeah, there you go. And hair. Hair is also made from keratin. That's right. Hair and fingernails and horn, they're all made from keratin. Okay? Let's see. Let me find another good word to teach you. How about well, I've taught about this one before. How about the word serendipity? Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, Irfan, that word is not really a real word. It was made up. It's a word that comes from Mary Poppins. Mary Poppins was a musical, and in that musical, there's a song, and the song is called Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. If you ever atrocious, it's this whole song that's called Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, and it just means, the word means great. So that's all it means. It's supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. It's wonderful. You never thought learning English would be that fun. Wow, look at that. That's a good compliment. I like that. So serendipity. That's right. Serendipity is a very interesting word because serendipity, it comes from a story. There's a very, very old story called The Three Princes of Serendip. The Three Princes of Serendip. Okay, serendipity. Okay, and serendipity means peacefulness. It means beautiful peacefulness. That's serendipity. Okay? And the word, and it's not even beautiful peacefulness. It's more like a beautiful unexpected discovery. Okay? It's serendipitous. Okay? So if you meet somebody, right? You meet somebody, and the person you meet, they are just like you. They love all the same things that you do. They like the same sports you do, the same music you do, the same food you do. You can say, wow, this is very serendipitous. This is serendipity. Okay, it's like fate. Okay, it's kind of like fate. All right? But it comes from, the word serendipity comes from this old story called The Three Princes of Serendip. And in that story, Serendip at the time was called that. But now we call it this. Sri Lanka. So, the word serendipity is talking about a place that was supposed to be like a magical world. Serendip. And where is it? It's a real place. Sri Lanka. Okay? That's right. That's an old word that's traveled a lot. What is the etymology of the word awful? It comes from the word awe, A-W-E. And the word awe is funny because now when we think of the word awe, like awesome, oh, it's awesome. What does awesome mean? Awesome means great. But the original meaning, awe, was not great. Awe was that's the feeling you have when something big and scary is in front of you. Something that's so big and scary that you are like, oh. All right? So if something is awful, it's bad. It is full of awe. And the word awesome now means something great. But the original meaning of awe was terrible, like shocking, like scary. Okay, so if I am filled with awe, it means, wow, that was incredible. Like, for example, when I was younger, I went to the Grand Canyon. Do you guys know the Grand Canyon? The Grand Canyon. The Grand Canyon is a place in the United States. It's a very, very big, beautiful place. And when you see it, when you see the Grand Canyon, it's so big and so huge that you are filled with awe. Wow. Look how big and amazing it is. I'm filled with awe. Okay? Yeah. How about awry? The word awry means to go wrong, to do something badly or to have something go wrong. There it is. Awry. So the word wry, W-R-Y, it means twisted. Twisted. So if something goes awry, it's not straight anymore. It's not going well. It's twisted. That's what awry means. Okay? The largest waterfall. No, well, yes. If you mean when you see the largest waterfall, what is that? Victoria Falls? I think that's Victoria Falls in Africa, right? But any big waterfall, like, you know, if you see, you know, Niagara Falls or any big waterfall, you will be like, wow, awe, wow, that's awe. Okay? Keratin is the material. So keratin is a material that's it's an organic material that many things are made from. Okay, so your fingernails are made from keratin. Your hair is made from keratin. Horns on animals are usually made from keratin, right? So deer horns are keratin. Rhino horn is keratin. Those are all keratin. Okay? Now, polar bears and the whole thing with the light, I'm not sure about that. Probably. If it's hair, I think it's keratin, probably. But I don't know about polar bears, so I can't answer that. What's the difference between taunting someone, deriding them, and bullying someone? So taunting someone... Taunting is usually not good, but it sometimes can be playful. Okay, so if I just taunt you, it could be teasing. It's playful, right? That's taunting, okay? But deriding is a more formal word that's more like saying bad things about you, okay? To deride. Let me look at this. It means to mock, like to make fun of, is to deride someone. But it's a very formal word, right? The informal word would be make fun of, when you make fun of someone, okay? But if you're in a business or an office, you might say, he's not making fun of me, you'll say he's deriding me, okay, in a formal situation, okay? But then the word bully, to bully is a general word that means somebody is bigger or stronger or has an advantage over you, and they are using that advantage over you in a bad way, right? So To bully someone is to intimidate them. Give me your money, or I'm going to do something to you if you don't do this. I'm bullying you. Okay? Okay, next question. Some interesting etymologies. Yes, breakfast, that's a good one. What does breakfast mean, everybody? Did you know that breakfast and dinner actually mean the same thing? Breakfast and dinner mean the same thing. They have the same meaning. So breakfast means to break your fast. That's obvious, right? So breaking your fast, it means that's the first food that you've eaten today. That's the first food you've eaten today. That's what breakfast means. But the word dinner actually comes from Latin, and in Latin, the original meaning of dinner means first meal of the day. The first food you eat of the day. So breakfast and dinner actually mean the same thing. All right? Now, the meaning now is breakfast is the morning meal and dinner is the evening meal. But I'm just telling you that when you look at the original meaning of the words is the same. It means the first food you eat that day. That's breaking your fast. Okay? All right? And what was another one that you said there? That's right, holiday. What is a holiday, everybody? What's a holiday? What's a holiday? What's a holiday? It's a free day. But why is it a free day? That's right, because holiday was holy day. Holidays used to be always, they were religious days. They were holy days. Okay, now a holiday is not always religious. Might be something else, right? Labor Day is a holiday, but it's not religious. But the original meaning of holiday is holy day. Okay? Not like Sabbath, not exactly. No, Sabbath is different. Sunday is different also. No, let me explain. So, in the UK, when they say I'm going on holiday, it could mean weekend or it could mean vacation. But in America, the word holiday never means the weekend. Okay? And it doesn't mean Sunday. It means a holiday is a special day of celebration in America. That's all a holiday is. It is not a vacation in America. In America, vacation is vacation. Okay? But if you go to England, in England, they'll say, I'm going on holiday. That means on vacation. But we don't do that. We say, I'm going on vacation. Okay? The word holiday in America just means one special day of celebration. That's a holiday. Okay? Now. That's the meaning now. Okay? Sabbath. What does Sabbath mean? Sabbath is a religious word that originally comes from Latin, sabbatum, which comes from Greek, which comes from Hebrew, and it means the day of rest. Sabbath means the day of rest. So in the Bible and in the Torah and in many religious books, they choose a day, that's one day that you should not do anything, no work, no nothing. That is the Sabbath. Okay? And next, let me see. There was another one you asked about. Goodbye. Yeah, goodbye. The word goodbye. Everybody says goodbye all the time, and you don't realize that the word goodbye means God be with you. That's what goodbye means. When you say goodbye, you're saying God be with you. I'm not a religious person, but still, I think that's funny to know. I think that's interesting to know. Okay? And that's right, shepherd. That's right. Yeah, okay. I think there was another question I forgot to answer here. Let me see. Halloween. Halloween is a very interesting story. If you want to know, do you want to know where Halloween comes from? Is that what somebody's asking? You want to know why do we celebrate Halloween? Or where does the word Halloween come from? I can tell you. I know that story. Urvashi, opaque and translucent. Opaque means you cannot see through it at all. My phone is opaque. But if I have a piece of paper, or a tissue, right? Like here's a tissue, okay? And the light can go through the tissue. So if the light can go through it, then it is translucent, okay? So opaque means you can't see anything through it. Translucent means you can see some. Okay, transparent means you can see everything clearly. Okay, translucent means you can't see everything clearly, but you can see something. Light is coming through. Okay? All right. The holy day that was Halloween. No, Halloween is a special holiday. Okay? And it has a very interesting history. I'll try to tell you the short story about that very quickly. Halloween was originally a holiday from the Irish people. A long time ago, they were called the Celtic people. And the Celtic people, the Irish people, they had a holiday. They had a special day that was called Samhain. Samhain was that's what they called it. And Samhain was this special day, one day of the year, when they believed that the dead spirits, all the dead ghosts, could come to the earth and walk around the earth on one day. And those ghosts, maybe those ghosts are not happy, right? They're not happy. So sometimes those ghosts would scare you. They would trick you. Okay? Or sometimes your neighbor would dress up like a ghost and pretend to be a ghost to scare you. They would trick you. That's why we say trick or treat. Trick or treat. That's what we say on Halloween, right? Why do we say trick or treat? Because they believed there were ghosts that could scare you. And maybe it's a real ghost, or maybe it's just your friend or your neighbor pretending to be a ghost to scare you. But you can give the ghost some candy. You can give the ghost something to make them go away. Here, take this candy. Please don't bother me. Okay? So that was the belief. The belief was that you could give candy to the ghosts and they would leave you alone. You could give a treat, not just candy. You could give a gift to the ghost and they would leave you alone. Okay? And sometimes your neighbor would play a trick on you and they would dress up like a ghost to scare you. That's trick or treat. Now, so that's the original story. The original holiday is called Samhain. All right? That's the original holiday. But the Catholic Church decided we're going to take that holiday and we're going to steal it and make it our holiday. So it was one day. It was a day that was just one day. But then the church decided, let's make it 3 days. Let's make it 3 days. So they had 3 days, and those days were called, let's see. They were called, there it is, All Hallows Eve, All Saints Day, and All Souls Day. Those were the 3 holidays, okay? And basically, the church, they wanted you to join their religion. So they would steal your holiday to try to get you to join their religion. Okay? So, Seeker, the pronunciation of the word is Samhain, but the spelling of the word is very, very crazy because it comes from this old language called Gaelic, Celtic Gaelic, and the Gaelic language is a crazy language. It's hard to write, hard to read. Okay, so Halloween became 3 days, and then it became 1 day, and that's where we got Halloween. So it was All Hallows Eve, All Saints Day, and All Souls Day, but then we changed it to Halloween. Okay? What about vice versa? Vice versa is from Latin. Again, it means in Latin the position has been reversed. Vice versa. So it just means switch positions. Okay? So maybe you're trying to explain something that's true in 2 ways. It's true for him and it's true for me. Then you can explain it and say, well, this is true for him and vice versa for him too. Okay, so it means it goes both ways. It's also true for this other one. Okay? The original spelling of Samhain, sure. Let me remember it because it's so hard. It's spelled like this, Samhain. That's the spelling, but the pronunciation is Samhain. I told you, it's crazy. It's crazy. It looks like Samhain. But the pronunciation is Samhain. Okay? Yeah. I know it's hard. Mortgage. Yeah, that's another one too. Mortgage. What is a mortgage, everybody? What's a mortgage? Do you guys know what a mortgage is? You pay a mortgage on your house? A mortgage is the money that you pay to the bank for your house every month, right? If you pay money to the bank for like a loan, right? Maybe you got a loan, so now you have a mortgage on your house, and every month you have to pay some money, okay? But the word, it comes from French, And in French, the old words mean dead pledge. Dead pledge. Which basically means that the only way that you can get out of paying for this house is if you die. Mort. What does mort mean in other languages? Muerte. In Spanish, muerte. What does muerte mean? Yeah, what does muerte mean? Die. That's right. So a mortgage, mortgage is the money that you pay to the bank. And the only way that you can get out of it is if you die. And that's right. The morgue is the place that you go. If you're dead, they take the dead body to the morgue, and it has the same MOR beginning because it's about dead people. That's right. Okay? Or what about the word mortal? What does mortal mean? Immortal and mortal. If you are mortal, mortal means that you can die. Mortal. But immortal means you cannot die. And they both have that M-O-R-T, mort. Okay? Mort means dead, die. How about the word, here's another one. What about the word morbid? Morbid. What does morbid mean? Not lazy, no. If something is morbid, it means it's like talking about death. Right? Like when you talk about people dying, like maybe I'm talking about a bunch of people who died, and maybe you'll say, oh, that's really morbid. Why are you speaking so morbidly? Why are you talking about morbid things? The topic is morbid. That's right. It's like, this is like death. Why are you talking about death? It's like talking about death. It's very morbid. Okay, so morbid, that's another word that has M-O-R in there. How about the word... Let's see. One moment. Mortify. I'm mortified. To mortify someone. I have been mortified. I feel mortified. It means like you're so embarrassed that you could die. I'm so embarrassed I could die. I'm mortified. I'm mortified. Okay? So, again, it means M-O-R-T. It has the same words meaning death. What is a mortuary? Mortuary. The mortuary is, the morgue is where they take the dead bodies if they don't know who they are or if it was a crime. But if you know the person, then you don't send them to the morgue, you send them to the mortuary. And the mortuary is like a business that will take care of the dead people so that you can have a funeral, right? If you want to have a funeral for your family member who died, then you go to the mortuary, right? So maybe if somebody kills you, if they kill you, then the police will look into it. And then your body will go to the morgue, because in the morgue, that's where the police will look at it. That's where the official people will look at it, in the morgue. But if you didn't get killed, if you just died, then you don't go to the morgue usually. You go to the mortuary. Okay? Let's see. What about the word murder? Murder means to kill somebody, right? And it's M-U-R, but it used to be M-O-R. Okay? So even the word murder is related to M-O-R-T, mort, meaning dead. Okay? And let me see, is there one more? What about this one? Last one. What about this word? Remorse. That's right. Mort means French. It means death in French. That's right, because again, it comes from Latin. Remorse is regret. It's grief. It's sadness, right? And remorse, more. It's like if someone dies. When someone dies, usually you feel bad. You feel like I wish something, right? I wish I had more time. I wish I had talked to them. I wish I did something before they died. Remorse. Understand? So even the word remorse is related to the word mort, meaning dead. Okay? All right, guys, it is 10 after 12. I have been here for 2 hours and 8 minutes. Wow. 2 hours and 8 minutes. I've been teaching words today, and we have talked about a lot of new words today. Here is my YouTube channel. If you liked what we did today, everything that I'm doing now is on YouTube. So it will be on YouTube. As soon as I finish here, this is going to be uploaded to YouTube. So you can go watch it again. All right? That's my YouTube channel. I also have a website. Here is my website. Okay? And on my website, you can find many, many free resources to study English on my website. If you want to buy lessons from me, if you want to pay me to teach you, you can pay me to teach you. Mir Said, you're too late. I'm leaving. I don't have time to talk to you today. I'm sorry. You're too late. I'm just about finished. So again, here is my YouTube. Here is my website. And here is my blog. I have a blog. And on my blog, I write all my best answers. So if you want to know how to study vocabulary, go read my blog. If you want to know how to think in English, go read my blog. Okay, if you want to know what are the most important parts of language, go read my blog. All right? I have been on Hello Talk for more than 12 years. I have been live streaming here for more than 5 years. I have done more than 2,200 live streams. 2,200. Is that right? No. Sorry. 2,200 hours, 1,200 live streams. 1,200 live streams for more than 2,200 hours. And I have about 88,000 followers here on Hello Talk. 88,000 people follow me because I teach. I'm a real teacher. It's my job. And I like it. All right? I am here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. That's when I'm usually here. What time am I usually here? So the city that I live in, the time is the same as New York City time. Okay? New York City time. Same as where I live. Okay? So in New York City in the morning, that's when I'm online. Okay? In New York City in the morning, around 9:30 or 10:30 in the morning, that's when I start. Okay? So today, it is now 12:12 p.m. here where I live. It's 12:12. Okay? But I have been here today for 2 hours and 11 minutes. Okay? 2 hours and 12 minutes. So I started about, 10 o'clock. I started at 10 o'clock today. All right? Usually I start around 9:30, 10 o'clock, 10:30. All right? Something like that. All right. Oh, man, I'm tired. I need a break. Okay, guys, thank you guys for watching and following and participating. Come back and see me again tomorrow. Maybe I'll do some more etymology. I like etymology. I'm a nerd. I like nerdy things like that. Okay, I'll see you guys next time, okay? Type of host. 我是英文老师，现在我教他们英文。星期一到星期五，这里啊，我教英文。Okay? Okay, 会来看我. Okay, bye-bye. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.